All right, everybody, welcome to Gen Booms.
Gen Booms.
I'm Connor.
I am Robert, his dad.
Yes, and as you might be able to tell, even though we have had some of these up for a while in some of the videos.
Yeah, we messed up.
Yeah, we didn't mean to. But we are doing Shakira. Neither of the ones up there.
No.
Not those.
Yeah.
But we are doing her most recent album, 2024, Las Mujeres Ya No Lloran. So we're both technically familiar with it. Like I've heard of the album, and I know that like I've heard some of the songs because I know that, and I looked it up before. Like half of them are hits and half of them are new songs, and so I'm sure I've heard definitely some of the ones off the second half for sure. And then you can explain how you've heard.
Yeah. And just so you know, like so his mom is a big fan of Shakira, and she is from Mexico, even though Shakira's from Colombia. But anyway, so she plays Shakira a lot around the house. So and because of that, I have gone to concerts with her, and so I've seen Shakira in concert a few times, including on this most recent tour, phenomenal tour by the way. Saw her both in Mexico City and here in Los Angeles, so I am familiar with.
Both I forgot 2 times on the tour actually.
Yes, 2 times on this tour. So I am familiar with a lot of Shakira songs. I haven't listened to like the whole album straight through, or really gone that much into like the lyrics, because I'm not.
Yeah, you haven't heard it.
Fluent in Spanish. I can just kind of get by.
True.
So anyway, it'll be be nice to do a deep dive and really getting to the songs. And as he said, like half the songs were already hits before she put the album out.
Yeah.
Because he put out all the singles for like a year or so before that. So anyway, so that's just the background on it. So it's not like a completely brand new reaction, at least for me, but more for
me.
Yes.
Yeah. I think I'll recognize a few. I definitely won't know like super well any of them. But
but she's a great artist, good songwriter, great performer, and she just did like a free concert in Mexico City at the Zocalo, and
which is cool.
Broke records, like 400,000 people showed
up. I know,
because
we have been there to the Zocalo, and it's like it doesn't look that big when you're there. Like you're looking around like 400,000 people. I mean, this isn't. But all right, damn, all right. Yeah. Somehow they've made it work, man.
That's crazy. So anyway, let's just jump on into it, I guess.
Yeah, so we'll get into it. So first one is Puntería featuring Cardi B. Here we go.
Right. Tú tienes buena puntería, sabes por dónde darme pa' que quede rendida. Y por más veces que trate, es imposible esquivarte. Tú tienes buena puntería, sabes por dónde darme pa' que quede rendida. Me atacan de matar, tú a mí no me conviene, pero en tu cama la mía, todo eso a mí se me olvida.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah.
I'm curious how Cardi B's gonna come in on that.
You got me stressing, thinking about sex and baby keep me company. Dame de tu falla, pégame la nalga, aunque tú no seas por mí. I got that night, put a man right to sleep. Yeah, I'm a pretty little thing from face to feet. I'm from the Bronx, but I got a Georgia peach. I got an empanada mama that he love to eat. Tú tienes buena puntería, sabes por dónde darme pa' que quede rendida. Me atacan de matar, tú a mí no me conviene, pero en tu cama la mía, todo eso a mí se me olvida. Tiro el blanco y caigo como si nada, pero si me robas 2 besos, salto cero, ya ni lo pienso. Paso toda la noche indecisa y despierto con tu camisa. Yo no sé si quiero parar y me derrito en tus manos. Siempre llegas fijo hasta mi punto G. Tú tienes buena puntería, sabes cómo duran estos polvos, se quedan sin batería. Me tiras tanto y no me conviene, pero me encanta ese dentro lo tiene. Le pongo perra pa' ti, no que tu mente nunca va a salir Cardi B. Me atacan de matar, tú a mí no me conviene, pero en tu cama la mía, todo eso a mí se me olvida.
There you go. It's a pretty fun song.
That's a fun song.
Right.
That's a very fun song. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean it's a straightforward song. It's
Super
just,
straightforward. I was wondering.
That's the nice sexual vibe of just getting together, but
Super sexual.
Just shoot your arrow, right? Aim is good, and
I know that's pretty funny. Honestly. What was it? There was one line that made me laugh. It was towards the end. Where was it? Let me see if I can find it. Well, the Empanada Mama line, but that was pretty good too.
Empanada Mama,
Cardi B, that was pretty good.
That he loved to eat.
Yeah, Cardi B was pretty good there. I'd almost forgotten just that Cardi B. I don't know where she's from. I don't know entirely if she's Mexican, Colombian, any of that. I don't know.
Oh no, she was like from New York, from the Bronx or whatever.
Yeah, from the Bronx, but she is of Latin descent. I just don't remember which one it is.
Oh, okay, yeah.
So I was like, when I heard her rapping and then some Spanish, I was like, oh yeah, I forgot she can speak Spanish.
Yeah. No, that's a cool, fun song. Good beat.
Yeah, that's a nice, fun one.
Just get you going, get you dancing, kind of a thing.
I'm assuming you've definitely heard that one then in concert.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I'm assuming maybe one or at least a few of these, maybe not in concert, just because there are 15 songs.
Yeah, I don't recall her doing the whole album or anything, but I mean she does do a fair amount of songs of these in the concert, and but she has so many hits. I mean she's been doing this for 30-something years or whatever.
Yeah, that's why I'm like, I'd assume that there's got to be some you haven't heard even going to concerts, because she could do 5 concerts over,
Oh yeah,
with hits besides this album.
Yeah.
I'm not like a Shakira fan by say, like I don't know her, but even then I could still, like, if you played probably 15 Shakira songs, I'd be like, all right, I know that one and that one and that one and that one. So it's like,
yeah, you know enough, right? Yeah, exactly.
For sure.
Whereas I've been a fan since these days. ¿Dónde están los?
That was like her second album.
More or less, yeah. I think she had like an earlier thing, but
pretty early.
But yeah, back when she had black hair and was a rock and roller, for the most part, and good stuff. So
long time.
Yeah.
But yeah, so we'll keep it going to the Fuerte.
Okay.
Once I get the lyrics.
Yeah, we do have to bring up the lyrics, so we know what we're seeing here, and it also translates. It makes it a little easier.
I did see
for us to check it out.
I just saw Spotify here has lyrics. So like, can you translate it? Because I realized the other day I can translate it on my phone.
Yeah, but I don't think they have it set to.
Apparently not.
At least you won't be able to get both up at the same time. So
yeah.
Anyway, so we will continue on with La Fuerte.
Here we go.
Sabido que iba a ser la última vez. Guardé besos pa' después, con las ganas me quedé. Te mentiría si digo que ver mis fotos contigo no me hacen daño, porque hacen daño. Si no te busco es que también tengo mi orgullo. No pienses que no te extraño, porque te extraño. Otra noche más que paso sin verte. Olvidarte yo trato, pero esto lo vale dar el arrebato. Yo con él paso el rato y luego a tu nombre solita me mato. Me siento como león en jaula. Me cuesta tanto quedarme callada. Me tienes con la cabeza raya, con la cabeza raya. Si tú quieres, yo me llamo. Si tú quieres, yo me llamo. Dime dónde, cómo. Otra noche más que paso sin verte. Otra noche más que me hago la fuerte. Borré tu número y pa' qué, si ya me lo sé. No te olvido por más que aparente. Si tú quieres, yo me llamo. Yo me llamo. Dime dónde, cómo. Otra noche más que paso sin verte. Otra noche más que me hago la fuerte. Borra tu número y pa' qué.
I was wondering if it was going to transition there, but
No, yeah.
But no, that's really cool. It's a very upbeat.
Oh yeah, it's
Super
fun.
upbeat.
You just want to be dancing and jumping up and down.
It's straight synth. It's a very like club type beat almost. almost.
Yeah. And I don't know if we said, for the people who don't know, but I mean, the title of the album, you know, Las Mujeres Ya No Lloran, is, it means women no longer cry.
Yeah.
And the whole album was written, for the most part, you know, because she had a big breakup, like her and her husband, who she has 2 kids with. Yeah, she got divorced. And
soccer player, right?
Right, yeah, exactly. Gerard Pique.
Yeah, I remember hearing about that.
I believe that's his name.
Yeah, I remember hearing
And
Pique.
so dealing with that, I think, from what she had said, like he had cheated on her and all that stuff. And so she found that out. And so, she was coming from a vulnerable place, but then, she worked through it and with her music and everything. And then, so she got to the point of, women don't cry anymore. We move on and we get stronger. And so that's part of the song, La Fuerte.
Yeah,
it's like, the strength,
strong,
and just being strong, or sometimes, just acting strong, because you feel like you got to do what you got to do, and just kind of moving on and, dealing with it. And so that, so a lot of songs, deal with elements of the divorce and, the relationship and things like that.
I did sort of figure, just with the title and the cover art.
Yeah. So
it is interesting. It's similar to Bad Bunny in the sense of like, and The Weeknd too, where like it's super fun and super upbeat, and the lyrics are the complete opposite.
Yeah.
Once again.
Although this one wasn't necessarily sad,
yeah, it's not like super depressing. It's just some lines, you just.
Some lines,
It's not like. Yeah, that'd make you
like I'd be lying to you if I said that seeing your photos, with you doesn't hurt. Yeah,
because they hurt, and all that. And there's one line like, I don't know why I even deleted your number. I already know it. I have memorized. It doesn't matter.
Yeah, right. But it does kind of make sense. Or you just like, I'm done. I got to move on. But yeah. So anyway, some good lines in there. But crazy how like it's just fun the song was.
It's a very fun beat. Yeah, so far both of them have cool like synth sort of beats.
Yeah, she works with great producers. Bzrp is going to come up later, but it's just really great stuff. And she has evolved so much over the years. We'll do some earlier stuff in the future. Like going back to some of the earlier stuff. But she's just a great songwriter. And anyway, we are ready to move on to the next one, which is
Tiempo Sin Verte.
Alrighty.
I'm waiting. I don't think I recognize the first 2 yet. Maybe I've heard them.
Oh, really?
But I don't like recognize it that much. So
okay.
I know I will on some of these. But, so here we go.
All right, good stuff.
Llevo tiempo sin verte y sigo aquí y no pasa un día que no piense en ti. Llevo tiempo sin verte y dime si aún me quieres y te acuerdas de mí. Te olvidaste también esos momentos o añoras cuando reíamos juntos sobre las olas. Yo que siempre te he creído mi amigo, ahora no sé, siento que nunca lo has sido. Has dejado con tu ausencia un vacío. Llevo tiempo sin verte y sigo aquí y no pasa un día que no piense en ti. Llevo tiempo sin verte y dime si aún me quieres y te acuerdas de mí. Y tu excusa es que andas demasiado ocupado. Tú que eres un hombre de cierta delicadeza y jamás tomaste bien mis reclamos. Y te exigí un poco más de la cuenta, pero te extraño y creo que no sabes cuánto. Llevo tiempo sin verte y dime si aún me quieres y te acuerdas de mí. En mis sueños tiempo sin verte.
Very cool. They're all great vibes.
Yeah, right.
So far.
Yeah. Just good stuff. It's kind of a song that could apply to, herself, but also, any kind of relationship when when it has just ended or it's falling apart, or, just, I haven't seen you in a while. I'm still here. And day doesn't go by that I don't think of you. Like, it's kind of straightforward in that sense. And tell me, like, do you still love me? Do you remember me? That kind of stuff. So, it's kind of straightforward. It's just there's some good lyrics of just I haven't seen you.
Yeah, very normal. Everybody feels that over any type of breakup.
Yeah, and you wonder things. But
she does talk a little bit more about it in the verses. I know it has some more specifics, like she mentioned going surfing and a couple other things.
Yeah.
That one's pretty good. You who are a man of delicacy.
Yeah.
That's a pretty good one. Because, like, delicate is, like... There's, like, different connotations. Because, really, it could be positive, technically. Somebody, like, sometimes, somebody like, oh, it's just a delicate, like, gentle person. But here, it's more seem like delicate, like you weak, almost.
Because you can be delicate and weak in different ways, weak that you've given to temptation, or just are you a weak person in general, or there's the different ways of taking it. So, my bad. There's that. Whoops. Anyway, but very relatively straightforward. But everyone is just catchy. It's got a good vibe, good beat to it.
Yeah. Now, the next one we have is Cohete.
Alrighty.
Which has Raúl Alejandro, which I've, like, heard of. And I know I probably know a couple songs by him because my mom's Mexican. But, I don't know him, but I'm...
Yeah.
Might have heard this one just because of that, but we'll see.
I think, yeah. But all right, let's go with it.
La luna está pa' que nos besemos. Si ellos supieran todas las cosas que hacemos. Por la estrella siempre nos peleamos. Se alinean los planetas cada vez que nos vemos. Te haré salir volando como un cohete. Contigo me voy sin regresar. Mandas a otro planeta cuando acabas tu misión. No quiero que nadie se meta en nuestra relación. Baby, solo anhelo estar contigo, amarnos en algún rincón y comernos sin ninguna complicación. No hay mayor placer que el de tocarte. Solo quiero hacerte venir por mí. Te espero y vente, que quiero verte. Te haré salir volando como un cohete. Si confesamos nos vamos viral. Tú mi playa, yo tu arena. La luna está pa' que nos besemos. Si ellos supieran todas las cosas que hacemos. Por la estrella siempre nos peleamos.
A lot of stuff on the voices.
Contigo me voy sin regresar. Tú mi playa, yo tu arena.
Another fun one.
Yeah, right. yeah, just kind of nice stuff.
Yeah, they're all good.
Like just this is kind of like the the moving on part, like hooking up with somebody and feeling it, and you're my beach and I your sand, and
yeah, that's cool. I'm glad they actually say it in the name, because I when I read it, Cohete, I was like, yeah, that's a Spanish word I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know that one. Especially they said it was rocket. I was like, what?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Rocket. I was like, okay. No
Make
wonder
you
I didn't
fly
learn
like
that
a
one in
rocket.
Spanish class.
Yeah, I mean that's as again some little sexual things in there, but
yeah, the take off and come, I want to see you, and then that line. Yeah.
And then I'll make you fly like a rocket, and yeah. Just
fairly straightforward.
Pretty straightforward, but just fun. Lyrics are cool. Music is great every time. Like the production is just cool. Like little things.
Yeah, it's very like it feels like maybe because I think that she already had hits and she was gonna put on the album, that she's like, I'm gonna make sure they're all like stadium songs. Like it does sort of feel like she knows, like she has a concert in mind almost.
Probably, and I'm sure she did. And and it was a phenomenal.
They
concert.
are fun.
Yeah.
So the next one, Entre Paréntesis. Like literally just Entre Paréntesis.
Mm-hmm.
Like
and it's in parentheses. Ways
like Hamilton.
Entre. Yeah.
Enter me, he says in parentheses.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I'd forgotten that one.
Anyway,
So,
yeah, that's an interesting name.
All right, so we'll jump in.
Dime qué te pasó porque te noto fría, pero la siento vacía.
Dime qué te pasó, ya no eres el de antes. Parece que esto para ti no es importante. Hay cosas en la vida tan obvias que no hace falta ni decir.
Se nota cuando se quiere, pero cuando no se nota más.
Se nota cuando se quiere, pero cuando no se nota más. Ya no hace falta que aparentes, sí. Pusiste el final entre paréntesis. Esto ya no da más.
Esto ya no da más.
Esto ya no dio más.
Esa manera de besar no sabe a nada. El que te abraza soy yo, pero estás pensando en él.
Y tú ya lo diste por perdido. Solo sé sincero, te lo pido. Prefiero la verdad a vivir con tus labios compartidos. Cada palabra me hiere, no creo que me recupere.
Se nota cuando se quiere, pero cuando no se nota más. Antes venías sin llamarte, ahora sin avisar te vas.
Se nota cuando se quiere, pero cuando no se nota más.
Esto ya no da más.
Esto ya no da más.
Esto ya no dio más. Pusiste el final entre paréntesis. Eso es.
That was cool.
Right,
A little bit more emotional on that one.
Yeah, exactly. And his voice really goes well with hers.
Grupo Frontera.
Grupo
I
Frontera.
don't know him at all.
Well,
Or if it is, it's
the band.
cool.
Yeah, it's popular banda.
Okay, yeah, I don't know him, but
Yeah.
yeah, it's a great voice.
Yeah, sounds really good there. And like some definitely like a little more painful here. Something
For sure.
Particularly like the one line she has, which is I'm paraphrasing. I prefer the truth instead of your shared lips. Like, instead
that
of,
was a cool line.
Yeah, instead of living with your shared lips. Like,
Yeah.
it's like, that.
I know, labios compartidos. Makes me
I
think
prefer
of
the truth to
Madonna,
living
yeah.
with your shared lips. Like,
That's a good line.
That hurts.
Yeah.
And of course, in this song, it's like they're both basically saying, like, you've changed. Like, your eyes, what you're saying is one thing, but your eyes say something different, or your mouth, I don't taste, it doesn't, the kisses aren't the same and all that, and just about, how the love has died. So yeah, yet it's such a cool, fun song. You know, like they all
Yeah,
are.
it's still
you know?
fun. This one is a little bit more conscious.
Yeah, it wasn't. It's not quite like the
others
full on dance
are,
vibe like some of the
completely
earlier
dancing.
ones. Yeah, exactly. A little more conscious of what they're saying and all that. And a sad song.
Yeah, I really liked in the chorus. I think it was where was it? Oh yeah, this one was longer. Okay, yeah, in the chorus, before you came without calling you, now without warning you go. I like that part. That was pretty good.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, there's some really cool stuff in there. It just it shows when you want it, but when not, it's more noticeable.
Yeah, exactly.
You know? That's so.
That part, yeah. So
Just
reminds me of a more recent one we did, fairly recent, with Olivia Dean with the Loud song, being like basically everything's unspoken, like everything that's not said is very loud.
yes,
So the
right.
same-
Yeah, good
yeah,
point.
that's
Yeah,
a-
exactly.
Always love that concept.
Yeah, it really is, and that's why it's gonna end like the word. You put the end in parentheses. That's why,
Yeah.
like it just like highlights it in a way.
Exactly. It's done. Yeah.
Yeah,
That's cool. That's a good one.
Yeah, yeah.
So we'll move on to Cómo, Dónde y Cuándo. Here we go.
Which is Cómo, Dónde, Cuándo. Oh yeah.
You recognize that?
Well, it's saying how, where, and when.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Here we go.
Alrighty.
Is it gonna have a laid back vibe or is it gonna pick up?
Entre la rutina y el estrés, la vida es una perra, ya lo
I think
sé.
it's still might though.
Mi cabeza no se explica, porque a veces uno se complica. Y por cualquier tontería, a uno se le arruina el día. Agarra una toalla, un traje de baño, de lo malo del mundo. El tiempo se va volando, cuando se pasa bien. No importa cómo, dónde, cuándo, lo que importa es con quién. El tiempo se va volando, cuando se pasa bien. No importa cómo, dónde, cuándo, lo que importa es con quién. Hay tanta mentira en las ciudades, como tanta basura en los mares. Ya no queda nadie honesto, solo los borrachos en los bares. Ya me siento con fuerza, el tiempo se va volando, cuando se pasa bien. No importa cómo, dónde y cuándo, lo que importa es con quién. El tiempo se va volando, cuando se pasa bien. No importa cómo, dónde y cuándo, lo que importa es con quién. El tiempo se va volando, cuando se pasa bien. No importa cómo, dónde y cuándo, lo que importa es con quién. El tiempo se va volando, cuando se pasa bien. No importa cómo, dónde y cuándo, lo que importa es con quién.
Yeah, another one. I know you were.
Yeah, much
you
more
were
loud.
asking, "Is those a pickup?" I'm like, I'm not gonna tell you. Just wait.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
yes, but yeah, I mean, cool lyrics on that. Just
it's,
like the chorus of like
opposite.
yeah. I mean, time flies when you have a good time. Basically, I mean, you know what you're saying. In English, is time flies when you have a good time. No matter how, where, and when. What matters is with whom.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Yeah.
the whole chorus is great. Yeah.
I mean, what matters is who you're with, who you're doing it with, and who So yeah, that's what's important. So yeah, some cool lines in there. I forgot some of the others.
Maybe the verses? Let me go
Because
through the
because my Spanish isn't that great.
Yeah. Relying on high school Spanish over here.
It's been a little while. So yeah, was there anything particular that stood out for you, or
Mostly just the chorus. That was cool.
Yeah, the
because I was
chorus
wondering
was
just
really
by the name, Cómo, Dónde y Cuándo. I was like, what? Like, how is that gonna be in the
oh
chorus?
yeah, right, yeah. I did like that one part, though, you know, that as I took away what was weighing me down. I already feel strong. You know,
Yeah.
Like, you know, that is, you know, like cutting off the, you know, the ex-husband and realizing that there was a bad thing. I got to get away from what's weighing me down. And boom, I already feel stronger. So that definitely fits in with the whole theme of the album, you know.
For sure, yeah.
Yeah, so.
I presume it's only the 6th song, so I presume there's still going to be some more sad songs in terms of lyrically. It'd be surprising if it just takes a whole change. The rest. I'm ready.
It's a pretty upbeat album on the whole. I'll tell you that.
Overall, yeah.
I
could tell.
Yeah. So we'll move on to
Nassau, the capital of the Bahamas, I presume.
That is where it is. Yeah.
I was just saying, I don't think there's any other. So we'll see what that's about. Here we go.
Si también te está pasando, la tensión te está matando, pero te lo estás guardando. Esto ya se pa' dónde va, y veo que no tiene vuelta atrás. No sé cuál es tu intención, pero dime mi amor, cuál es el plan, pa' ver si me motivo. No necesito nadie más. Cuando tú estás conmigo, llévame a un sitio sin señal y me pierdo contigo. Después de hacerlo sin parar, lo repetimos. Yo que había prometido que nunca más volvería a querer, apareciste tú a sanar las heridas que dejó aquel. Eso lo tenía cerrado, con llaves y con candado, pero ¿qué hago? Me gusta demasiado. Esto ya sé pa' dónde va, pero ya me abriste el corazón y ahora tiene más reversa un avión. Dime mi amor, ¿cuál es el plan? Pa' ver si me motivo. No necesito nadie más. Cuando tú estás conmigo, llévame a un sitio sin señal y me pierdo contigo. Después de hacerlo sin parar, lo repetimos. Ay, me pierdo contigo. Después de hacerlo sin parar, lo repetimos.
Yeah, so it's just a nice moving on song, you know. Just moving on and falling in love again, and
exactly, being with somebody.
Just hey, I'm feeling it. Are you feeling it? Let me know. Say it, like, you know.
Yeah, very much upbeat song.
Yeah, exactly. I do really like the lines of, like, you know, take me somewhere with no cell service, and I'll get lost with you. Just I like that. It's just like forget the world and all the other stuff, and then, you know, the interruptions and stuff, and, you know, let's just get lost together.
That's how you know you're in love these days. If you ain't checking your phone. That's like, man, I don't even care about Instagram.
That is pretty true. Yeah, like out on an island with no signal. That's where I get lost with you. So.
Yeah, that was the line that stood out the most to me too.
Yeah. So, yeah, just nice stuff. Very.
She doesn't say Nassau, right, at all during it.
No, it's not really said in it. I think it's just
more like the Bahamas.
Yeah, the Bahamas. Yeah, it's
island.
just. Yeah. I mean, they probably have cell service in Nassau.
Yeah, they 100%. But, you know, maybe some private island in Nassau or something.
The idea of it, though, it's just, it's a cool idea of it, and just, you know, moving on and, you know, trying to, you know, be with somebody else and you know, expressing yourself. Like, you know, like she's kind of expressing herself and kind of waiting to make sure that he also feels it. Like, you know, you're feeling it too, right? Like, you know. Yeah. Because she's even saying, like, I don't know what your intention is, so just say it so we can get into action. You know.
I know. I like how she says action there, because, you know, later she said after doing it nonstop, we repeat it.
Yeah.
What's she talking about?
I have a pretty good idea.
Anyway,
yeah, cool song.
Yeah, another fun one. That's the first one where both the vibe and the lyrics are fully happy.
Yeah.
Fully.
Just moving on and like, it's very nice, very nice.
And next we have Última. All right, here we go. Oh, actually, I did forget to mention on both Nassau and the last one. I think I might have heard those. Like the chorus sounds familiar.
Oh, okay. And I believe Última is a more slower one.
Oh, okay.
Unless I'm totally misremembering. We'll see.
I was right. It seems like it. Yeah. The guitar's gonna kick in.
Antes que nada te agradezco lo vivido. Por favor déjame hablar, no me interrumpas, te lo pido. Lo que nos pasó, seguramente con el tiempo te arrepientas. Si algún día quieras volver a tocar mi puerta, pero ahora he decidido estar sola. Se me perdió el amor a mitad de camino, que ya está decidido, nos queda lo aprendido. Tú querías salir y yo quedar contigo en casa. Más fácil era mezclar el agua y el aceite. Dices que te hacía sentir que nunca nada me alcanzaba y que para mí todo era poco, insuficiente. Así que te fuiste y me dejaste un hueco aquí en mi cama. Pasa el tiempo y no puedo sacarte de mi mente. Seguramente con el tiempo me arrepienta y algún día quiera volver a tocar tu puerta, pero ahora, ¿cómo es que te cansaste de algo tan genuino? No trates de convencerme, te lo pido, que ya está decidido, nos queda lo aprendido. ¿Cómo es que te cansaste de algo tan genuino? No trates de convencerme, te lo pido, que ya está decidido, nos queda lo aprendido.
That's completely different than the entire rest of the album.
Yeah, it's powerful though, right?
No, that's a beautiful song.
You know, like how, you know, our love broke halfway. How come you got tired of something so genuine?
Yeah, that I think was my favorite line from the first chorus. How you got tired of something so genuine, I think sums up the majority of any relationship like that ends where you're just confused because it's like, how did you leave something just so genuine? Like that's the only way to describe it.
It was like we loved each other. I loved you. You know,
something most likely either fake or chasing something that doesn't make any sense. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
that's beautiful.
It just kind of ends with it's already decided. We have what we learned, but it's also cool that there's a part of it where
it changes.
Well, I was saying there's a part of it that initially it's kind of almost like she's blaming him, and she does. Like you know, how could you leave something
overall?
So genuine?
Yeah.
But there's a part where she kind of takes some responsibility in it, you know, like there's a part where, because she was saying like, you know, at some point you're going to like show up on me, you're going to regret it. You're going to show up on knocking on my door.
I kept saying you.
But then there's a part where she switches it and like, you know, I'm going to regret it.
Yeah.
And
I noticed that. That was cool.
Which is very, you know, an honest thing where, you know, everybody has some, you know, little fault or whatever, you know, and I said, you know, to some degree of a relationship falling apart.
There's things you could have done
and
better.
Also, even if it wasn't, you know, even if you feel like I got to move on and he cheated on me, and, you know, or whatever the case is, it's still hard to move on. It's still you kind of feel like, well, I could see in the future maybe we get back together. You know, like there's always going to be that part of it because it's hard to deal with that and take it all in. And so it's I think it's very honest that way she presented it here. Yeah. So.
Yeah, that's a great song.
Yeah, it really is.
So move on now to.
And she did that one in concert.
Oh, okay.
She did a lot of these actually, but you know.
I was just saying, is there anything you haven't recognized?
Yeah, there's a couple I didn't really, you know, it wasn't as familiar with. The next one I'm.
Well, yeah, because from what I saw online, 1 through 8 was the one she made for the album.
It was like the first hit.
9 to 15 are all supposed to be hits, so
yeah,
they're pretty much all hits from here on out, supposedly. Another one with Raul Alejandro, so I'm pretty positive I'm gonna know this one, most likely.
Yeah, it's a great song. They've all been great.
Here we go.
Por completarte me rompí en pedazos.
Yeah.
Me lo advirtieron pero no hice caso. No me digas que lo sientes. Eso parece sincero pero te conozco bien y sé que mientes. Te felicito que bien actúas. De eso no me cabe duda. Con tu papel continúa. Te queda bien ese show. Te felicito que bien actúas. Lo siento en esa moto, ya no me monto. La gente de dos caras no la soporto. Yo que ponía las manos al fuego por ti. Me tratas como una más de tus antojos. Tu herida no me abrió la piel, pero sí los ojos. Los tengo rojos. Suena sincero, pero te conozco bien y sé que mientes. Te felicito que bien actúas. De eso no me cabe duda. Con tu papel continúa. Te queda bien ese show. Te felicito que bien actúas. De eso no me cabe duda. Hablándote claro, no te necesito. Perdiste a alguien o castigo. Algo me decía porque no fluíamos. Te voy a picar cuando recuerdes cómo nos comíamos. Como antes, tú de espalda apoyándote del volante. No me cuentes más historias, no quiero saber cómo es que he sido tan ciega y no he podido ver. Te deberían dar un Oscar, lo has hecho tan bien. Te felicito que bien actúas. De eso no me cabe duda. Con tu papel continúa. De eso no me cabe duda. Con tu papel continúa. Te queda bien ese show. Te felicito que bien actúas.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know I heard that. The
Yeah.
first line, I was like, yeah, this is the
Yeah,
one.
that's a hit. It was fun. That
is a fun one.
Felicito. It's just, congratulations. You know, like it's, you deserve an Oscar. You did so well. So I was like, congratulations. You act so well. Like, I believed you.
Yeah.
You had me. That was a good one. You had me.
Yeah, that's
you know?
that's a very clear.
Yeah.
Probably wrote that one not too soon after.
Right?
the breakup.
Just how could I have been so blind and unable to see? You know, just that. Like, yeah, you fooled me. You got it. You're good at good acting. And I thought you loved me.
Oh
kind
yeah,
of thing.
it's super passive aggressive.
Yeah, but I mean, it's you know, it's an honest thing.
Oh, it's
like,
entirely
hey,
right. Especially in her case too.
Yeah, if you're in love, you know, of course it's your spouse and
Yeah.
all that, and like, I believed it. I thought you loved me, and
Those, yeah.
you know, all that.
A lot of good lines in there.
So, yeah, a lot of good lines, and while just being a fun song at the same time.
Yeah, I mean, it's fun overall. To me, it's mostly the way that she sings that one line.
Felicito.
Yeah, that part. Yeah, that part was pretty clever. I don't know how she came up with that, but it goes really well with the beat. It sounds fun.
Yeah, that's really cool.
Next, we'll go on to. I was trying to find the lyric, but I'm like, because it put the Spanish and the English, so I'm like, I gotta scroll through a whole bunch of lyrics. I'm like,
The particular one you were looking for?
I'm not gonna find it. Man. I just remember there was a bunch of lines. I was like, oh, this is good and this is good, but
Yeah, it's just how it.
we get the point.
Basically, yeah, it sounds sincere, but it's all meaningless.
Yeah.
So yeah.
And the next one is Monotonía, which that sounds familiar too. Like I'm probably gonna know that one.
Yeah.
Where the hell am I?
You got a little lost on that one.
Yo, what?
Yeah, where is wow.
1 second, guys. It took us on a different album.
Yeah, that was a little weird. So we're looking for Monotonía.
Okay. We're good. We got it.
Yeah. So
Here we go.
yeah.
Featuring Ozuna, which I don't know who that is either.
Fue culpa tuya, ni tampoco
I
mía.
this one too.
Fue culpa de la monotonía. Tú en lo tuyo y haciendo lo mismo. Siempre buscando protagonismo. Te olvidaste de lo que un día fuimos. Y lo peor es que no fue culpa tuya, ni tampoco mía. Fue culpa pasaría.
Tú en lo tuyo y haciendo lo mismo.
Siempre buscando protagonismo.
You know, this one, I mean, more taking some responsibility for, you know, because like,
Yeah,
but
very
right off the
much
bat,
on this
it's
one.
like, you know, culpa tuyo, culpa mía. Like, it's your blame, I'm to blame. Like, it's, you
And
know.
calling the song Monotonía. So, like, just, and she says it there, like, it got monotonous. Like, the fault of monotony.
Yeah. So, yeah, the worst, yeah, that's the worst part. It wasn't your fault nor mine. It was the fault of monotony. I never said anything, but it hurt me, you know. I knew this would
Yeah.
happen. So even that, like, that's a tough line. Like, if you knew,
That's interesting.
if that was true, like, I knew this would happen. Like, ooh, you know, like, you kind of saw it
Yeah.
coming. Like, oh, that's bad, you know. But it's more like, you know, she even does say that, like, it's more your fault, though. Like, you know, but you know, you forgot what we once were. And suddenly we just
Yeah.
weren't the same anymore.
The chorus is more like, neither of our faults. But then the verses are continue more with the clearly this guy was the problem.
Yeah, I mean, for the most part, right? Because it's like suddenly you weren't the same anymore. You left me because of your narcissism. You know, you forgot what we once were. So yeah, I mean, she's saying, okay, there's both of us. You know, you know, maybe we let some, you know, monotony
Yeah.
set in, which is pretty common in a relationship
True.
when you've been together for years
sure,
and have
yeah.
kids and all that. So you know, but it still hurt her, and maybe that's why she saw it coming. You know, but it still
Yeah,
hurts.
yeah. I think it's more almost like a hyperbole. Like she says it of like, yeah, technically it was, I could have seen it, but
Yeah,
not
exactly.
really.
Right. Yeah. Right. To a degree, you saw it coming. Like, you know, maybe in retrospect. You know?
Yeah, in retrospect,
Yeah. Or I should have seen it.
you would
coming.
never actually see it coming.
Yeah. I mean, although one part, I think she does say something about like, you know, I forgot what it was, but like leaving him because like she realizes that, you know, that it's things aren't going to be good. So I gotta move on with myself, kind of a thing. So anyway, but I don't know.
You just want to
Yeah, exactly. I was just scrolling around. I was
Okay.
trying to look
Yeah,
at it,
I don't think it's gonna be in there, honestly.
but yeah, that's fine. Doesn't really matter. I mean, it's, you know, the general idea of it. So
Yeah,
it's,
exactly.
But yeah, you know, cool song.
Yeah, I've heard that one a lot for sure.
Yeah.
And we'll move on. So we got Shakira.
Well-
what exactly Bzrp?
Okay. Well, Bzrp is
Bzrp?
a producer.
Okay.
You know, I think he's also DJ, but yeah, he's
Did
a
it pop up
producer,
on
and so he does these music sessions
Oh yeah, here it is.
with various artists. We, you know, would come in and do stuff, and then she did this one with him, you know, and it this one like really took off and just became huge. I think almost like the whole album kind of got based on that. This thing got so popular.
Oh, this is the biggest off the album?
Well, I don't know if it was the biggest, but I mean,
Maybe
it became
before.
like a huge kind of global hit, and it was clearly her writing about her relationship, you know, with
Mr.
him.
Pique.
Yes, because there's even little things in here where she'll say like
Oh really? Dang.
the way she'll say certain things about Pique, you know.
Oh, really?
But
Oh,
like
wow.
you know, but there's little things like that you would necessarily pick up on, but
Okay.
But since it was like, you know, she did this little music session thing with Bzrp, and then, you know, and he just calls it that. I'm like, you know, it's his
Music Sessions
volume 53.
Yeah.
And so that's how they put it out in the world, and then it became like a big hit. And so then
That's
it's just,
crazy.
I'm just going to leave it that. Like, that's the title, basically.
I had seen, like, I knew that one was a hit. I wouldn't have guessed it off the title. I just remember reading somewhere that one was a hit. And when I first saw it, it reminded me of like the 50s type, like all the big artists, Frank Sinatra, Dean Martin, like they all have like, you know, volume. It was like Capitol typically. It's like Capitol Records volume 37 recording.
Well, that's true. Well,
I
this
like
one's just the one song. But yeah, it's a cool, fun song.
Yeah.
So we'll get into it.
There we go. Oh yeah, that one. Okay. Yeah. so catchy.
Sorry, baby, hace rato que yo te vi tocar ese gato. Una loba como yo no está pa' novato. Una loba como yo no está pa' tipos como tú. Pa' tipos como tú. Esto es pa' que te mortifique, mastique, trague, mastique. Yo contigo ya no regreso, ni que me llore, ni me suplique. Entendí que no es culpa mía que te critique. Yo solo hago música, perdón que te salpique. Te dejaste de vecina a la suegra con la prensa en la puerta y la deuda en Hacienda. Tiene nombre de persona buena, claramente no es como suena. Tiene nombre de persona buena, claramente es igualita que tú. Pa' tipos como tú. Del amor al odio hay un paso. Por acá no vuelvas, me caso. Cero rencor, bebé, yo te deseo que te vaya bien con mi supuesto reemplazo. No sé ni qué es lo que te pasó. Estás tan raro que ni te distingo. Yo valgo por 2 de 22. Cambiaste un Ferrari por un Twingo. Cambiaste un Rolex por un Casio. Vas acelerado, dale despacio. Por mí todo bien, yo te desocupo mañana. Y si quieres traértela a ella, que venga también. Tiene nombre de persona buena, claramente no es como suena. Tiene nombre de persona buena. Y una loba como yo no está pa' tipos como tú. A ti te queda grande y por eso estás con una igualita que tú. Ya está, chao.
That one is very fun.
Yeah, it's really fun, and it's
Super
just
catchy.
like it's so directed at her ex, and it just like just destroying him. You know?
It's almost the perfect like song for her in the moment, and just for like one for going against him, but also like she's like the she wolf, like that's
that's her. Yeah, that's her. Yeah,
and the
she's a
chorus
she-wolf,
like doo, like it sounds like a wolf.
Oh yeah,
Like, it's
exactly.
perfectly made for that.
And it's just such a slap on the face for like for guys
Yeah, that
like
was a
you,
lot of-
and you're going to be with her, who's someone like you,
Yeah.
and it's like also you thought you hurt me, you made me tougher, but a lot of the stuff like you traded in like a Rolex for a Seiko, it's like I forgot.
Yeah,
what
what was
exactly
it? She was going pretty fast actually.
Oh,
right
it's just
there.
something like
Yeah.
you changed a Ferrari for a Twingo. I think
Yeah.
that's like you changed a Rolex for a
Or a
Casio. Like it's just damn.
And, oh yeah, you go so fast, give it slow. And then the next one, a lot of gym, mucho gimnasio,
Yeah.
but work out the brain a little too. That one was funny. Yeah, I laughed when I heard that one.
I mean, the lines are brutal. They're so good though.
Yeah, I presume this is because, I mean, you were saying she made this one almost probably before a lot of the others.
I don't know exactly when. I think
It did
Felicito was I think the first one, but yeah, it was
Okay.
definitely when she was really in the in the heat of it and going through the
For
divorce
sure.
and just. She even talks about like my supposed replacement, and the song, about the new girl,
And she name drops the album name. I forgot where. I don't remember where it was, but
Yeah,
she said it once.
my supposed replacement. Yeah, no resentment,
Yeah.
baby. I only wish that you are fine with my supposed replacement.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think a little resentment.
For sure. And the fact that it's called music sessions, like it totally feels like it was just
Yeah,
early on and just was like, I'm getting in the goddamn booth on this one.
yeah, and like they just got together on this thing, and it just all came out, and it was just perfect.
Yeah, so they can
and
be
that's
your
why
best
this thing blew up because everybody had heard about like, oh crap, like she found her husband was cheating on her, and
that was
and they're going to
massive
getting
news.
divorced, and then she comes out with this song, and it's like, oh damn,
Yeah.
I mean, she just
pretty
eviscerated him, and then little things like this, pardon, que salpique, like
Yeah, that part.
like, and she even in the video, she's kind of like, beep, Like, you know,
Yeah,
just,
that's pretty.
just these little things, and I only make music. Sorry that I splashed. You know, it's just it's just a brutal takedown. Like it's
Yeah.
it's almost like a, you know, like a rap battle that, you know, not that he's not doing, but you know, like
No,
you know,
yeah, I
rap
know
battle
what
where
you
you're
mean.
trying to just
You
destroy
yes,
the other
sir.
person, and like she just destroyed him.
Yeah, that was a complete miss.
Yeah,
That's pretty good.
that was brutal. So pretty cool.
Yeah, because when it first started this verse with all the different kiss, like it's ending like what if you can, must you can, try to get. I was like, oh, that's already like similar to Pique. I was like, I don't know if that was intentional, but it's just the fact that it's a lot of eh. But then right at the end, like Sal Pique and says his name basically. So I was like, damn.
Yeah. Yeah, I read something where he was saying like I kind of wish that she wasn't so good with lyrics. Because,
that was really well done.
Because it really just like destroyed him, and people were like making fun of him and with it.
Because everybody's singing
just
it.
Like, yeah, everybody's singing it.
Yeah.
So it was just like, oh man, it's brutal. So,
Yeah, he, you know, maybe shouldn't have just done what he did.
Oh well, yeah. But no, it's a great song. It's
That's a
fun.
very fun one. Yeah.
Yeah, I believe she ended the concert with that one, if I recall correctly.
Isn't that the one? Because you had shown me clips before. That's the one where like, is that the one where they bring out the massive wolf?
The giant wolf.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Because she is the she wolf.
Yeah.
That's her. And all her fans are the wolf pack. Like it's just, yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Great song.
Yep. So we'll move on to TQG. My bad.
Yeah. This is with Karol G.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
see. I'll probably I don't
you'll-
recognize it off name, but yeah, exactly.
100% you're gonna know this one. Yeah.
Yeah, every single one since we started the hits. I know I'm gonna recognize these 100%.
Yeah. And we'll have to do Karol G at some point too.
Yeah, I know she's real big.
Yeah, I don't know as much about her like Shakira's, what you know, the one I remember.
Well, she's,
but,
yeah, a lot
but
more
Karol G
recent.
is huge right now, and and she's great too from what I've heard, and I don't know that much about her, so that'd be cool to do at some point.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So here we go.
La que te dijo que un vacío se llena con otra persona te miente. Te fuiste diciendo que me superaste y te conseguiste nueva novia. Lo que ella no sabe es que tú todavía me estás viendo toda la historia. Bebé, ¿qué fue? No, pues que muy tragadito. Yo estoy buscándome el lado si sabes que yo errores no repito.
Verte con la nueva me dolió, pero ya estoy puesta para lo mío. Lo que vivimos se me olvidó, y eso es lo que te tiene ofendido, que hasta la vida me mejoró. Por acá ya no eres bienvenido, y lo que tu novia me tiró, eso no da ni rabia, yo me río.
Estoy madura, dicen los reportes.
Ahora tú quieres volver, sé que no tan sé, espérame ahí, que yo soy idiota.
Se te olvidó que estoy en otra y que te quedó grande la bichota.
Bebé, ¿qué fue? No, pues que muy tragadito, que estoy buscándome el lado, si sabes que yo errores no repito.
Shakira.
Tú te fuiste y yo me puse triple M, más buena, más dura, más leve.
Volver contigo nueve, tú eras la mala suerte, porque ahora las bendiciones me llueven y quieres volver, ya lo suponía, dándole like a la foto mía.
Tú buscando por fuera la comida,
Te ves feliz con tu nueva vida, pero si ella supiera que me busca todavía. Bebé, ¿qué fue? No, pues que muy tragadito. Yo estoy buscándome el lado, si sabes que yo errores no repito.
dile a tu nueva bebé que por hombres no compito.
Y yo de lejos no veo bebé. Te come, pero te coge. Barranquilla Medallo.
Interesting.
Yeah. So just fun one, another kind of
Another one. Yeah, follows that.
slap at the face kind of a thing, and
Yeah.
and paraphrasing, but it was like, like why were you looking for me? Because if you know I make mistakes, you
don't
should
repeat
also know I don't repeat them.
Yeah, that was a good line. Yeah.
That's paraphrasing, but yeah, that's basically what she's saying.
Mm-hmm.
So I thought that was that's a really good line there.
Agreed. Very catchy too.
Yeah, and it's just again about the monotony and things, and just breaking through it and moving on.
Mm-hmm. She also mentions it here, being yo diciendo que era monotonía, like referring back, I presume, to the Monotonía song.
That me saying it was monotony. Yeah.
And then you want to come back. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know when this one came out in particular. I believe this one actually came out on Karol G's album.
Yeah, it says here it's technically Karol G featuring Shakira.
Yes, exactly. Even though it really is like a duet, they have equal parts, it seems like. But really, it was on Karol G's album. But it was released as a single, so then since it's also her single, she put it on her album as well.
Yeah.
So just a fun song. I mean, they both sung great together. It flows well together. Both, talking about their exes or whatever. And
I'm not familiar with Karol G. I don't know if she,
I don't know much. I don't know anything about her life or what her love life particularly. So we'll find that out on another time and we'll listen to her album.
Yeah, that's sort of funny though. It's just like you basically. Like Shakira, I just imagine Shakira hitting her up and being like, "You want to hop on a song? We're just gonna diss the fuck out of my ass." That's the goal right here.
Right. Well, it was Karol G's album, so maybe she reached out to her. She's like, "Hey, I just broke up with my boyfriend. I understand you just broke up you're getting divorced. Let's do this." Like, I don't know how it came to be. If you know, feel free to let us know. But I'm sure we could, Google it or whatever. But it doesn't really matter. I mean, it's a cool song one way or the other.
Exactly. It's more simple too.
It's like if you've gone through a breakup or whatever, and you're kind of dealing with that. So looking back. So yeah.
Now we're getting to the last few where I don't actually recognize it at all.
Acróstico is this actually has their sons in it.
Oh, that's why Milan.
Oh, Milan and Sasha. Those are those are her two sons.
Okay.
And so I've heard the song. I'm familiar with it. I know she even did it in concert. And like acrostics is when you use. It's like a. Trying to remember how exactly how it's like when you put the like a poem basically, and like the first letter of each word would spell out something. So you could use it to say spell out a name, spell out
like the song "Love" by Nat King Cole.
Could be. I'm not sure which one, but anyway. So that's what generally what acrostics is. That it spells out something in a poem. And it's usually more or less something along the lines of could be the first word makes something, of each sentence could form, something like its own sentence. It could be the first letter of each word forms something. So I believe it has something to do with that, so, coming across with like the love of, she has for her sons. I don't know exactly how the acrostics work on this particular one.
Hopefully we'll catch it.
We'll just go with it. Yeah.
Yeah, here we go.
Her sons are like 9 and 11 or something. I'm not totally sure, but they come in at certain parts.
Me enseñaste que el amor no es una estafa y que cuando es real no se acaba. Pero las cosas no son siempre como las soñamos. A veces corremos pero no llegamos. Nunca dudes que aquí voy a estar. Háblame que te voy a escuchar. Y aunque la vida me tratara así, voy a ser fuerte solo para ti. La sonrisa tuya es mi debilidad. Quererte
sirve de anestesia, dolor, hace que me sienta mejor. Para lo que necesites estoy. Viniste a completar lo que soy.
Se nos rompió solo un plato, no toda la vajilla. Que solo te salga amor de esos labios. Si las cosas se dañan, no se botan, se reparan. Los problemas se afrontan y se encaran. Hay que reírse de la vida, a pesar de que duelan las heridas.
Se ha de entregar entero el corazón, aunque le hagan daño sin razón.
Quererte sirve de anestesia al dolor, hace que me sienta mejor. consejo. Para lo que necesites estoy. Viniste a completar lo que soy.
Sirve de anestesia al dolor. Para lo que necesites estoy. Viniste a completar lo que soy.
Yeah, it's a beautiful song.
That's a great song. Yeah, that's beautiful.
Yeah, so it was it's very touching, you know. So when you have kids and you think about that stuff, and you do whatever you can. You try to be strong for your kids, and like even you're in pain, you just want to be strong. And it's like, and the kids they serve as an anesthetic to the pain. Like that is so accurate.
Yeah, and having them come in to sing on the part where she's basically saying they help her.
Yeah,
is very cool.
Yeah, exactly. It just makes me feel better, and I'm here for whatever you need. Yeah, you came to complete who I am. Like that's nice. The kids are saying, but it's both ways, right? Mm-hmm. She's saying it to them, but they're saying it back to her.
Yeah,
it's beautiful.
That's great. That's a great song.
Yeah,
and there's a lot of there was a lot of good lines. See if I find any here. Oh yeah, pretty much everything in the verse.
Yeah,
it's a very, very positive, like, we're gonna get through it vibe, and definitely feels like she feels like things were broken and was like, all right, it mentions it a few times here, only one plate broke, not the entire set of dishes, stuff like that. So just like things suck, but we're gonna pull through, sort of, especially like as a family.
Yeah, exactly. It's so nice, and it's there's a self-awareness, and like that. Although I don't know how to turn the other cheek, learning to forgive is a sign of wisdom.
Yeah.
It's like,
don't know how yet.
Yeah, exactly. I know it's what I should be doing, and then she's getting to it, and what that may love only flow from those lips is also like singing it to her kids, and I'm still dealing with this, and I'm angry, but for you guys, may only love flow from those lips. It's just a beautiful song.
Yeah, it's a great song.
Yeah.
Like
it wouldn't even think necessarily be a hit in a sense. Like it doesn't sound like a hit song necessarily, but it's such a beautiful song, and I think people related to it, and with their own kids, and knowing what she was going through when she put it out, and it's just like, it just worked.
Yeah, that's just perfect.
Yeah,
really cool. And I've heard that one for sure. So we'll move on to Copa Vacía.
Great song.
That one, Copa Vacía.
Well, they're all great songs, to be honest.
I was surprised you pointed that one out.
I don't know. It's really catchy. Every one of these songs is so good. I think it's so catchy, and they're fun, and whatever. That one was, the last one not necessarily fun, but that one wasn't. That one was just touching and so good.
Here we go.
Lo ves así, este ritmo no puedo seguir. Ya no sé qué más hacer para obtener más de ti. Hace rato tengo sed de ti, yo no sé por qué. Quedo con ganas de más y queriendo beber de una copa vacía. Hace rato tengo sed de ti, yo no sé por qué. Quedo con ganas de más y queriendo beber de una copa vacía. No hay que ser poeta para endulzarme el oído. Suelta el teléfono, sé tu mano conmigo. Sé que estás bueno, pero mucho más buena estoy yo. Hace rato tengo sed de ti, yo no sé por qué. Quedo con ganas de más y queriendo beber de una copa vacía.
Como si no sintiera nada. Yo no soy mecánico, pero trato de arreglarlo y no funciona. Reanimando un corazón que no reacciona. No quiero intentarlo con otra persona. Hace rato tengo sed de ti, yo no sé por qué.
Quedo con ganas de más, queriendo beber de una copa vacía. Tus besos son de agua salada. Bebo y no me calma nada. Te espero y me desilusionas. Y así no funciona.
Pero no quieres cuando yo quiero. Estás más fría que el mes de enero. Te doy calor, pero tú siempre hielo.
Actually, a little bit more sad.
It is, but it's yet upbeat at the same time.
Oh, yeah,
like,
upbeat.
and
The
their
lyrics
voices,
definitely went back to the more.
and their voices
earlier.
go together so well. There, you know that.
There we go.
And, you know, the chorus is so cool. I think, you know, just that. You know, I've been thirsty for a while from you. I don't know why. I'm left wanting more, wanting to drink from an empty cup, which is what I mean. Copa Vacía is like it's an empty cup,
empty
you know,
cup.
and it's just like that. That's a really strong line. That's a really interesting.
That's a great line. Yeah.
Really? Yeah.
Because even just in general, of just the wanting to drink, left wanting more. Like if you just left it, you know, from you, I don't know why. I'm left wanting more, wanting to drink.
Yeah.
That's something I think pretty much everybody gets, even if you don't even actually drink. You get it, and it's just like, oh, it sucks. I gotta, you know, get the pain away. But then adding like from an empty cup makes it even better. Just because there's nothing there.
Wanting to drink from an empty cup. Like I want this, and I know it's not there.
It's not even feasible. That's a good line.
So so the chorus is so good, and their voices work together so well, and I mean, really, I mean, almost all the lines they are really pointing to the same thing. You know, it's just that it's. You know, and his lines are good too. It's like, you know, I'm not a mechanic, but you know, I want to try to fix this. You know,
I didn't even catch that one. So
and
okay, I didn't see that one, but yeah,
you know what?
There were a lot of good ones.
What kind of, you know, what can't? I was right here actually. Yeah, just.
Oh yeah, yo no soy mecánico.
Yeah, like I'm not a mechanic, but I try to fix it, and it doesn't work. You know, reviving a heart that does not react. I don't want to try it with someone else though. You know, just. But like I want this to work. I don't want to try to start this over with somebody new, you know. But it's also realizing it's not working. It's failing.
Yeah, there's.
I can't.
So
I can't
an empty cup. It's gone. There's nothing there.
Right.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah. So, there's some really good lines there. You know, their voices blend well. It's just, I like the, you know, the beat of it. I just always like that.
Super like the what is it called? Like the not even really the drum. The thing in the back. I guess it is the drum.
Yeah,
like
I think so.
It's like a bass.
Well, the bass,
drum.
yeah.
Yeah, that's like a super club type.
All right, yeah, exactly, right. Like it's just, you know, just and it's just, but the, you know, the lyrics are just like, oh man, it's like it's just, you know,
that was very depressing lyrics, honestly.
Love falling apart, you know, but such an upbeat kind of a, you know, beat and take on it. It's how it's yeah, I've always liked that. That way, like I really love every song on this. They're all
really good.
yeah,
that one. Yeah. Does she? I mean, did she get? Is your problem drinking at all from the situation or no?
Her, not that I've ever heard.
Because it could. I mean, I'm sure that there's, you know, it's metaphorical to a degree, but it, you know what I mean,
right?
Clearly.
Well, it doesn't necessarily mean maybe out alcohol. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I've been thirsty for a while from you. I don't,
that.
You know. And I'm just left wanting more. So I could just be wanting water for that matter. It's not even about necessarily alcohol.
Yeah, but when you put the chorus wanting to drink from an empty cup, I mean.
No, I mean, like I said, it could still be, you know, you're desperate for water for that matter. I mean, you know, to survive, you know, you need liquid.
True.
And there's nothing there. It's an empty cup. So it doesn't necessarily, to me, have to be alcohol.
It doesn't have to be. It's just very common, especially for the breakups, you know.
Yeah, well, true. No, I never heard anything about her, you know, drinking or whatever.
Yeah, that's good. That's good because
good, you know, good for her. Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah, great song. And so,
great one, yeah. So, now we're on to El Jefe, which is the last one, by the way.
Yes, the boss.
Oh, you're right. Yeah. Wait, that's the boss? Jefe's boss?
Uh-huh.
I thought Patron was boss.
No, it's a little, I mean, you know, different.
Similar?
But, no, El Jefe is the boss.
Okay. Here we go.
Shakira, Shakira.
7:30 ha sonado la alarma. Yo con ganas de estar en la cama, pero no se puede. Llevo a los niños a las 9.
El mismo café, la misma cocina, lo mismo de siempre, la misma rutina. Otro día de mierda. Yo llego caminando y en el Mercedes-Benz me tiene recluta. El muy hijo de puta, yeah.
Estás soñando con irte del barrio. Tienes todo para ser millonario. Gustos caros, la mentalidad.
Estudié y nada pasó, maldita vida tan dura. Trabajo más que un cabrón, pero follo menos con cura.
Qué ironía, qué locura.
Esto sí es una tortura. Te matas de sola a sola y no tienes ni una escritura. Dicen por ahí que no hay mal que más de 100 años dura, pero ahí sigue mi ex suegro que no pisa sepultura.
Tengo un jefe de mierda que no me paga bien.
Estás soñando con irte del barrio. Tienes todo para ser millonario. Gustos caros, la mentalidad. Solo te falta el salario. Tienes un jefe de mierda que no te paga bien. Tú llegas caminando y en la Mercedes-Benz te tiene de reclutar. El muy hijo de...
Lili Melgar, para ti esta canción que no te pagaron la indemnización.
Como siempre la vez.
Estás soñando con irte del barrio. Tienes todo para ser millonario.
Gustos caros, la mentalidad. Solo me falta el salario.
Yeah, I've heard that one too.
Yeah, it was just a fun one, you know. About,
Yeah.
You know, like you have everything to be a millionaire: expensive taste, the mentality. You just need the salary.
Yeah, there's a lot of funny lines in there.
Oh yeah, I mean, you know,
More
just
of a
that.
rap too.
Particularly, you know that. You know, like you know, I arrive walking. Well, I mean, you know, well, the whole the shitty
chorus.
boss that doesn't pay me well. I arrive walking, and he arrives in a Mercedes Benz.
Yeah, that was good too.
You know, granted, it rhymes when it's in Spanish, but yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, just everything about it. It's just fun, you know, when life is just kind of hard and going to work and everything, and your boss is kind of an ass. Like it's just pretty straightforward.
Pretty accurate for a lot of people.
Yeah, exactly. You know.
Oh, there's my favorite line.
Which one?
I work harder than a motherfucker, but I fuck less than a priest. Did you catch that line? That's one of the best lines I've ever heard.
I mean,
That's such a good one.
that is a really good play on
Right?
words.
That's really good, actually.
Yeah, that is pretty solid. Yeah, I agree. That is.
Yeah, that's funny.
Yeah, that is a great one.
Yeah, it's a real fun song.
Yeah, I mean the whole album is pretty fun, other than a couple of songs that are still like Acróstico, which is just great.
Still
you
great
know.
songs, yeah.
Oh yeah, just great, because they're deep and some depth to it. There's a couple other bonus songs. I think we're gonna like skip those because really it's just a remix on Bzrp music sessions and Puntería,
yeah.
like a vinyl version. But I think as far as the regular album, we covered the 15 songs.
Yeah, exactly.
And so now you've got the whole taste of a full Shakira album. This was a really great one.
Well, her most recent, yeah, which I have technically heard half of it already.
Yeah, just and hearing it from your mom playing and stuff.
Yeah,
and,
yeah.
But it'd been like 7 years since she'd put out an album, and because she was really kind of busy being a mother for the most part, she really wasn't putting out a lot of music. But then she started putting out a single and another single and another single, and and all this kind of with a divorce going on, hitting at the same time, and strangely enough, like it, or maybe not strangely enough, but it'd make her tougher, like dealing with it. And she dealt with it through her music, and now she's like more popular than she's ever been. Like this album was so huge.
Yeah, she really
and this
came back.
Tour is like she just jumped to stadiums, and she's just so big now, and she's like and I've seen her in concert a few times over the years, and yeah, this concert was amazing. It was one of the best concerts. I've seen many concerts, right?
Yeah.
Dating back to the Rolling Stones and everybody else. And yeah, this was one of the best concerts I've ever seen. So yeah, she's just great in concert. She's a great performer. She's just an icon these days. And
yeah, I mean, it's still going. It makes sense because anytime you deal with anything, that's typically when, especially if you're an artist, you make the best stuff. Unfortunately.
Yeah, right.
So,
unfortunately, a lot of times, like people go through a breakup and then they write songs about it.
Yeah, that's why breakup albums are like, damn, that's a good album.
Yeah, a lot of times because you want to cry with it because you can relate with it. This one is like, it's all like upbeat for the most part, and yet it's just so good, so fun. And yeah, it was a great album.
And yeah, I don't know if maybe after this she's like, you know what, now I'm gonna retire. We'll see. But
I seriously doubt it. Like she's literally more popular than she's ever been, and she's been doing this for over 30 years. She just turned 49 like a week ago or so.
Maybe she'll take the Cat Stevens route, just disappear. He was pretty popular, and he just I'm gone.
Yeah, he did a strange thing. But now she's really getting bigger and more popular. She actually just came out with a new song.
Oh, did she?
Yeah, just like about a week ago.
Yeah, well, actually, I was gonna say that like it's crazy that she's still she's been popular for so long, and then ever since because Zootopia 1, she was like a good
Oh yeah,
album.
I forgot that song
And then
too. Just came out.
Zootopia 2, so she got
a big
another
hit from
hit.
Zootopia, and there's another song she put out. So she has that song that came out after the album, because that just came out recently with the movie, and now she has a new album. I mean, another song that just came out. So this has really been like 2 years almost, like because it came out 2024. We just started. We're in March of 2026 when we're recording this. So she could very well be dropping another album pretty soon, for all we know.
She could, yeah. She's still popular right now. We'll see if
Super popular. Like she wrapped up the tour for the North America and Latin America, and now she's taking it over to Asia and Europe, and so be touring over there for a while.
She's number 15 in the world on Spotify.
Yeah,
it's quite massive.
Yeah, and just had the biggest tour ever for.
She broke the record
for
like
at least a Latin
tour. I think it was
biggest ever for Latin.
I think it was just Latin in general,
and biggest ever certainly for a female Latin.
Yeah.
So anyway, yeah, she's phenomenal.
Bad Bunny might be trying to break that though. We'll see if he does.
Oh yeah, for the biggest in Latin America, yeah.
Because currently he's bigger than her.
Yeah, I could see that. I'm sure. I haven't seen him in live. Like to after reviewing the album
we did. Yeah, we'll get to some of his others.
Some other stuff. So yeah. So anyway, great stuff.
But yeah, great album, really cool stuff. And 15 songs, yeah, that's crazy. 15 songs. It'll go by a little faster. So that's
I mean, so many are just hits. I mean, half the album was hits
half
before
the album
it even came out, and then she had more hits after that. So it's really good stuff.
Really solid album, especially for one of those, like we said, where she sort of came back.
Yeah, I mean, like what a great way to deal with your pain, just put it out there. And
every medium, she hit them all,
Yeah,
all the stages of grief.
Well, yeah, exactly. That is true. Yeah, and great album.
So thank you guys for watching.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Leave some comments. Let us know what you thought about the album and our video. And like it if you want. Correct our Spanish, perhaps.
Yeah, we really didn't try too much with it because we know it's not. We're not great at it. But anyway, so we appreciate your watching, and if you liked it, like I said, give a like and or subscribe. We appreciate that very much.
And check out some other stuff.
Yeah, we will check out some more of her stuff and some Karol G and some other artists that have been recommended to us, and for Spanish records. So yeah,
and we'll see you guys next time.
Thanks for watching. Take care.
Bye.